Hey guys, welcome back to the series for the first installment of 2023. So to start off, we've got max power. This is all AI idiocy, and it's kind of no different to what you might see in a multiplayer lobby most of the time. So we're just going to dive into that chicane there, and then to cap things off, the Audi is going to cock things up going to the pits and just plow into the pit wall. So you know, when that's happening to AI, what chances do the rest of us have? And then coming in at 7, we've got a human idiot. So that is the kind of fight this is going to be, and we're just going to shove the man who submitted the clip off at the first corner, and then 2 laps later after the pits, we are far enough away that we're going to manage to escape getting punted on this occasion, but going into the second corner, not so lucky, because going to get shoved off and both cars are going to spin. And then a lap later we're going to have the roles reversed here. So if he didn't see this coming, he really should have, because this is pretty much exactly what he's been doing. So we're just going to punt him off and continue on our merry way and no longer have to worry about him. Wonderful stuff. And then next up at number 6, we are moving to Daytona for the first of several Daytona clips today. Now, going through that left-hand kink, that happens quite often. The green car, I'm not too happy about it, because as we go into that right-hander, I'm just going to punt the other car out the way. And seeing some injustice here, Damo is going to spin him and right things with them as they should be. So let's just watch this going side by side. Slow motion, did not want to leave any room, so he kind of caused that. But he's not seeing it that way, because we're just going to punt him out the way. And then going into the right-hander, the injustice, as we see, has been righted. And he is going to be in last place, where he pretty much deserves to be. And that is a feel-good story. And next up at number 5, we are jumping back to Suzuka. Now, on the surface of things, this was what I was told to watch, and this is just an example of Luis Dionisio being dirty, and then a subsequent bit of street justice later on to send him off the track. Happy story, right? Well, I actually watched it, and it's a bit more complicated than that. So let's take things back a little bit and see what actually happened. This is why it's good to watch all the replay to get some context. So starting the race, we are off the line here, fairly decent start, and then we are just going to swerve into the other car there. There must be some bad blood from a previous race perhaps. Then we're going to have another crack at Luis there, a bit of a revenge move, and we're going to end up getting a little bit of revenge, taking ourselves out actually a bit more, but he has lost positions at least. And now this is just before the bit where Luis went for a bit of revenge, actually a lap before, and that was not the cleanest of moves. So the next lap, Luis is, I would say, rightfully upset about that. One occasion I might say that, one very rare occasion I might say he's rightfully upset. So we're going to, I guess, get a bit of revenge. I'm not saying this is good to do, but it's kind of understandable. And then this is the guy he took out right at the beginning, going for another bit of revenge. And I mean, was a bit more complicated than it first seemed. However, Luis is still being Luis. And then next up at number 4, speaking of Luis, we have another one. This time we got Zaskar. So off the start, this time not so angry, but a little bit of poor driving, because we're not going to give him much room going into the first corner, or the second bit of the first corner for that matter. And then as we come into the S's, we're going to be having a little bit of contact with the red car, and then losing a whole bunch of control, and then getting pushed from behind. And this is going to have a bizarre ending, this clip, so I've never seen this before. But going into the hairpin again, we're going to punt the red car out the way, and then continue on our way. And now we're going to have another slow motion one here, because I just want to show he did move across. That was entirely Luis Dionisio's fault, and he's lost control because of that. And now he's going to lose a bit of speed, go straight into the path of the red car he punted out earlier, and get shoved off the track. And he's going to have to rejoin, but the game is going to reset him really quite far back.
That's harsh.
And then starting the top 3 this week, we have got one from Freelix. We're moving to Watkins Glen. We have got a leader here who's got a half-second penalty, and he's going to lose a bit of speed as a result, obviously. And we're going to try and block the Nissan, who really didn't do anything to change his path. So that was all on the Alpha. And now, I mean, laying off the throttle on the straight, that is a dead giveaway that we are not intending on being clean here. So going into the first corner, I think the GTR might have been aware of this, because it is bizarre to go slow on a straight for no reason. And then we're going to block the GTR, and we're going to fast forward a little bit ahead, and again we are going to lay off the throttle a bit and try and block as best we can so that we stay ahead. GTR is going to have some sort of crack at it, realize he's not quite there, and somehow manage to keep it on the track. But we're going to jump ahead. We've got another penalty to serve here, and you just can't avoid those half-second penalties for cutting the track. And we're going to try and swerve on the inside, not going to quite work out. Have some more very aggressive defending, and then we're just going to kind of give him a bit of his own back, but not going to the left-hander. We are going to, punt the GTR this time and send him off, but importantly send ourselves off, because the GTR is going to continue. He's going to finish in 4th, and we're in 6th, still waiting to rejoin. And now we now have a 3-second penalty. Going to try and block Felix at the last moment there for no reason, because he didn't lose any positions.
Dummy, yeah.
So next up at number 2, we're moving back to Daytona with the Shadow 977, and now going into the first corner here. A little bit late on the brakes from this chap, and a punt Shadow out the way. I mean, it happens, but what can you do? Now coming into the chicane on the final lap, remember, this is a meltdown that we're about to see. We're going to have the red GTR, well they're both red, but the one in second place go off there. Lost a bit of control, there was no contact with the biped, and then we're going to try and slot into the gap that just really wasn't there. End up spinning ourselves, so Karma really making an example out of him there. And then we're going to go up into 6th gear for some reason. I guess the all-wheel drive GTR is very hard to control on the grass. But we're now in 10th place, and have we got another position to lose in us? Yes we do. We're going to finish in 11th. That was a disaster. And then in that one we have got Sam. Now Scar wasn't too happy about that very minor contact due to him not leaving enough room for Sam. So we're going to punt him off, and then jumping a lap ahead, we're going to have a little bit of a gap left there, so Sam is going to go on the inside. I mean, fairly clean, I suppose, bit of trading paint, and then we're going to have a Porsche come out of nowhere, so that's going to cause a bit of a sandwich, and not too happy about that actually, because apparently that's Sam's fault. So we're going to go very hot into this right-hander, and then go extremely hot into the left-hander as a result, lose a ton of places, and not be too happy at all, as you can imagine. Going to have a very aggressive lunge on the Porsche there, end up spinning and end up in last place. So that was a disaster for him, huge meltdown. And yeah guys, I hope you've enjoyed. If you have, go and leave a like. If you're on here, go ahead and subscribe. Thank you to my patrons whose names you're seeing on screen right now. If you'd like to join them, the link is in the description, and I'll see you guys in my next video.